Okay. Oh, I'm a little bit low on that camera today. That's all right. Uh, hey everybody, happy Monday. If you're watching on replay, let me know. Put in the comments, hashtag replay. I'm gonna try and adjust the Facebook camera here for a minute. It's a little off. It's just a long reach. I'm trying not to knock anything over. Okay, that's a little better. Let's see. Give everybody a minute or two to pop on. I actually have a project I can work on a little bit while we're chatting and while we're waiting. We'll see. We'll see how I do. I might have to unknit everything I knit while we're talking. Hi Holly, working on coastline hexie blanket. Ooh, is that a knit one or a crochet one? I'm guessing if it's hexie, it's probably crochet. One of these days I'll get the blanket finished, the crochet blanket finished that I started way back in the day. Working on the Easy V sweater. Excellent. I'm bummed that I missed you the other day. You need to come back and see me. Lee. Nicole working on the zip up crochet bomber. Awesome. Stacy trying to finish your Yumiko top. Cool. Crochet. Okay, cool. As a reminder, we go live both on Facebook and on YouTube. So if you're having problems or you need to switch from one to the other, it's two different feeds, but they're happening at the same time. So you can always pop off Facebook onto YouTube or off YouTube onto Facebook, one or the other. Hi, Sherry. Only do the flower part until I come in for the hexagon color. Okay. Well, I bet we probably have a color that can work for you, Holly. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Okay. I guess I can't talk too much and knit at the same time. I'm not as multi-talented as I thought I was. Yeah, Holly said that Nicole, the crochet bomber sounds interesting. It's a really cute pattern. It's basically like a granny hexagon, like granny square style hexagon cardi with a sewn in zipper to look like a bomber jacket. Looks pretty cool. Hi, Mama. Oh, I forgot to refill my water bottle, you guys. I got nothing. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to Monday Motivation. Today is March 10th, 2025. My name is Kristen. I'm the owner of the Little Yarn Shop located in Saginaw, Michigan, inside the SVRC Marketplace. Shop hours are Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. The rest of the market opens an hour later than we do. So they are Wednesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Purple Sage Beads is open additionally on Tuesdays from 11 to 5, I believe. And as a reminder, that's a great day if you are into any sort of jewelry making things, Tuesdays for her are a great day for you to come in and get, more dedicated one-on-one help when it's a little bit quieter around here. So keep that in mind. It's Martin Day. Is that a thing? I don't know what that means. Joyce, back to working on the scarf until round 2 begins. Joyce, I'm assuming you made it through round 1 with no problems. I'm curious to know where you fell in the order of things within your group. So March Madness has begun. Joyce is working on her Sock Madness competition socks. Well, she finished the first pair and posted those. I think you posted them on Friday. Oh, I remember seeing them in the craft along group. I don't know if you actually posted them on the finished object thing though. Mario? Oh, shows what I know. Um, I know things like May the 4th be with you. The important ones. Um, okay, so what else? That's who I am. That's where I am. Events coming up. April 19th here at the marketplace is a bridal expo. So, those of you who might be getting married or know somebody who's getting married, keep that in mind. Pass the word on that there's a bridal expo here up in the ballroom. It was supposed to be later this month, but they rescheduled it to April 19th. And then April 26th, which is like a month and a half away. Man, that's coming up fast. April 26th is local yarn store day. So I have started getting some of the patterns. Well, I've gotten so far one pattern from one of the designers that we work with for LYS Day. So we tend to have quite a few designers who offer free downloads of their patterns when you purchase yarn to make those patterns. This first one is a crochet cowl, which is really, really cool. So I started playing around with that last week. I don't have it to show off because I shoved it in a bag that didn't come with me to the shop today. But we're starting to get things in, and I've got things on order from Madeline Tosh and Dream in Color. And, we'll have some special stuff here in the store for LYS Day. Joyce, I did complete round one. Came in 23 out of 45 on my team. Again, seems to be the fastest team. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Well, I feel like that's good though, in terms of where you ranked with how busy your week was and how you did not have a ton of dedicated time to work on it the first couple days. So congratulations. Let's talk about knitting. So I am wearing two different pieces, well, knitting and crochet. I'll talk about yarn related things. I threw on my summer sorrel. So this is fingering weight summer top by Wool and Pine. I was too lazy to take off my other shirt under it, so I threw this on over it. But summer sorrel is a great shirt for if you fall in love with a heavily variegated fingering weight yarn and you've got a couple skeins of it. This is a great use for a yarn like that. The body of it is knit in reverse stockinette, which gives it kind of a cool look. And there are these dip stitches in there, which is, it's a little bit of a tricky method at first, but once you get it, I think it goes pretty smoothly. And the body of it, once you get past all the dip stitches, the body of it, you actually turn it inside out and knit everything. So you're not having to purl the entire body of a sweater since it is reverse stockinette. So this is summer sorrel. 2 or 3 skeins of a fingering weight yarn will get you this. Wool and Pine also have a couple other versions of this sweater if you are interested in something that's a little bit heavier weight, longer sleeves, fingering held with mohair. They've got a few different options for this pattern. So, and it's a fun one. And then what I had wrapped around me because I was chilly is this beautiful crochet wrap. I realized when I was talking to a customer about it the other day that I don't think we ever really featured it or talked about it. So this crochet wrap, can you see the diamonds in it? Well, it's kind of hard to see without a dark background, but I think you can see it okay. It's got this diamond texture. It's all double crochets. In just looking at how it's constructed, it would be really easy to keep track of your pattern and where you are on things. But the pattern is called Castle, Kassel. Hi, Aunt Jackie. It is crocheted with Barocco Tilly, which is this fun and lovely yarn. I know I've worn the Jenna top, the knit top that I've done out of the pink, that color. Tilly is a really cool yarn. It's a DK weight yarn and it's 62% Pima cotton, 38% Cupro, which is a recycled cotton byproduct. Hi, Oriana. So it takes 3 skeins and it's huge, you guys. Look at how big this is. It's a big, comfy, rectangular wrap. It's got fringe down at the ends. Obviously, fringe is optional. If you don't like fringe, don't do fringe. You don't have to. but it looks beautiful in this yarn. It's designed for this yarn for Tilly. And you really get to see the lights and darks of the textures. So I pulled colors that we have three skeins, at least three skeins of. Most of them we have enough for a couple versions or a couple sets of this, but this is kind of I think this is going to be our featured pattern for the week, the castle wrap, because I think it's really, really cool. So the 2450 a skein, they have 375 yards, which is really good yardage for a DK weight yarn. So we've got the orange, which is the color that this sample is knit with. Sorry, it seems like my colors, at least on the YouTube feed, they keep changing when I'm holding things up versus when they're back. But that's the same beautiful orangey color. We've got this gorgeous, well, they do actually have names. So the orange is called Capus. We've got this beautiful, this just looks like spring and grass. I think I have a little bit of grass poking through in my yard that's close to this color. This is called Tula. There's this gorgeous yellow called Pamuk. And they all are hand dyed, so they've got that light and dark. With the Jenna top that I knit, I started alternating skeins and then gave up because it was too much of a pain, and you really can't tell. So as heavily variegated as the yarns are with the lights and darks, they're done pretty consistently, so you can't see a lot of contrast from where like I stopped one skein and started the second one. And I feel that way too about this. Like when you hold it up, you don't see a big difference between the three skeins that they used. So this pink is called Cotton with K. It's so fun and happy. All these colors are just, and the yarn is so soft. It's got great drape to it. It really has become a favorite for crocheters because of the softness and the drape of it, and also because of the yardage. It's got such good yardage. There's this gray, it's got like a blue green hue to it. That's called Mian, M-I-A-N. And I've got two blues. There's this lighter blue called Katana. And then let me just throw it on the floor. Then there's this more, this deeper blue called Algodao. Algodao. So there are the two blues. Light blue, deeper blue, turquoise, which is always a popular one, Pamba. When I initially ordered this yarn, I ordered extras of this because this is what I was going to do the top in, but what happened? I think that's when I went to the Legally Blonde, the musical, and realized I hadn't knit any pink tops, and so I needed a pink top. And purple, of course, this is Faye. So great for knitting and crochet. We've got this yarn here in stock, 24.50 a hank. So that'll be this week's featured project with that beautiful, beautiful yarn. Again, this is called Castle. I like the little tassels on the end of this. Just adds to it. This would be a fun pattern too, this castle pattern, if you wanted to do a simple black or white rectangular wrap to just have for the summer in a different yarn. A good pattern for a lot of yarns, for a lot of DK weight yarns. So that's what I'm wearing. I'm working on two projects. I didn't finish anything this week, but I can show off because it's kind of pertinent to one of my works in progress. So one of the projects I'm working on this week is to actually knit a sample of the scarf Deb uses to teach her Basics and Beyond knitting class. So our Basics and Beyond is a 6-week knitting class that meets Wednesday evenings. And this is the scarf that they knit. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it here in the shop, but it's a pattern that Deb wrote. and it's mirrored. So you start with seed stitch, you go into some lace, some tiles, some cables, and then back down again. We've had the sample for a while. When she started teaching this class, we were using Encore, and we don't carry Encore anymore. So I decided maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea for me to actually knit through her pattern to knit a sample in vintage, but also so I'm more familiar with the pattern. Not that I don't know how to help people with it, but it's good to, know know exactly what I'm talking about a little bit more. So I did grab a skein of vintage and started my version of the scarf. And as you can tell, blocking makes all the difference. It's curling in, my edges are curling. That will all come out in the wash, as they say. But I've got my seed stitch done and my lace and my tiles and my lace, and I've started the cables. It's really a cute pattern and very well written the way Deb did it. So it's easy to follow and works really well for her to teach a lot of techniques to people. So if you've thought about wanting to improve your skills with knitting and recognizing stitches, being able to read your knitting, the Basics and Beyond class is a great way to do that because she teaches all of that in the classes. So that's one of my works in progress. But how that correlates to what Ashley finished. Ashley has been helping Deb with the classes, and frequently they get asked, what if I want to make it longer? And what if I want to use Rios? Because Malabrigo Rios is beautiful and it calls for a worsted weight yarn. So Ashley took it upon herself to knit this beautiful version. It's long, it's lovely. So she added more repeats of the lace and the tiles and added more repeats of the diamond cables in the middle. And this is done out of 2 skeins of Rios in, I believe, English Rose. But so I didn't make it, Ashley made it, but it's beautiful and I can show it off. And it's a really cool pattern. Deb wrote it and we like it. So that's Ashley's finished project from, I don't know, I should have mentioned it last week, but I didn't. And then I'm also working on my, oh, there's my written instructions. I thought I didn't have them. I do. I made a little bit of progress on my Spring in Her Path top. I talked a little bit about it last week. I'm not a ton further. I'm still working on building around the fronts, but I've started building the sleeve cap. So last week, all I had were these weird little blips up here. Mary Annarella is the designer. She goes by Marry Me a Little or Mary Annarella, both. And the construction of her tops is unique and it's very well written and very well thought out. So she does a lot of pictures of each step on how you're building the neckline and what it should look like. So last week I was kind of in this section down here with having joined my front and back pieces. Now I've started to build out. So what I really like about this is it looks like a set-in sleeve, but it's not. You're not trying to sew anything in. You're not having to pick up any stitches as you go. So this is going to be the front. And then you can see the little shoulder cap, sleeve cap there. So I'm making a little bit of progress on it. I'm on size 5 needles, so it seems like it would go fast, but it's not. I can't wait until I'm to the point where it's joined. And then for the body of it, I'm gonna have this chart to watch. So it won't be so boring until I get to the sleeves. So it might end up being a short sleeve project. But the other fun part of this is the yarn that I'm using is one of our custom colors from North Bay Fibers. This is Kristen's Fave Teal. And I've been saying for a couple years I wanted to knit a top out of this, so I finally am. So that got a little bit of progress, but I don't have as much of a timeline on that one, so it's kind of like many of my projects do. That's kind of gone to the back burner a little bit. Let's see. Projects coming up. My mom just texted me earlier today about the grasslands tank. Um, did I print that? I might have. Let's see. I did. It's not the greatest picture, but the grasslands tank is written for it's a universal yarns pattern, and it's written for bamboo pop sock, and it holds two strands together, which I think is really cool, and it calls for a solid and one of their self-striping yarns. We carry bamboo pop sock here in the shop. What's cool about it is you can't really tell from this picture too much, but um, so the solid, you hold two strands together, it looks like, for the ribbing. And then when you get to the body of it, you hold one strand of the solid with one strand of the self-striping. So you get kind of a marled stripy look. It's a free pattern. There's a link. So there is a Ravelry page, but it's not, the pattern itself is not downloadable from Ravelry. They have a link that takes you to the Universal Yarn website. But you don't need an account or anything. You can just go right to their website and download the pattern for free. And it goes from a 32 up to a 64-inch bust. I like the way it looks like it's not oversized, so you don't actually have to wear a bunch of layers or a cami or anything under it, the way it looks like it fits. And I know you guys have heard me talk about it before, but bamboo pop sock is a great summer yarn. The feel of it is fantastic. That was my favorite top to wear when I was in Mexico. It felt like the fabric kept me cool with the bamboo and cotton blend. And it's a fingering weight yarn. The yardage is amazing though. It has almost 500 yards in a ball. So, you would need anywhere from 2 to 4 balls of your main color and 1 to 3 balls of your contrast color. It's done on size 6 and size 7 needles, which is fun. So this might be, Mom sent it to me because she said it's one that she's might be interested in doing, and it might be one that I'm interested in doing too. So, I'm gonna try and hold off. We'll see how that goes, because I think this would be a really cool one to do. Even though I've already done a top in bamboo pop, but I only did it in the solids, not in a stripe. So maybe that'll be my justification for my next project. Let's see, that's what's upcoming. Oh, we finally got today the Dream in Color March pop-up club. So the March color is called Kiss Me. It was supposed to come last Tuesday. I mentioned it last Monday, and the tracking just all week kept saying it was updating tracking information. It finally came today. So this is our Dream in Color March pop-up club color. It's called Kiss Me. It's this beautiful, like, look, it matches my nails. It's like this Tiffany blue for a majority of it. And then it's got this pop of a brighter, tealy turquoise blue, and then this peach, this gorgeous, gorgeous peach color in here. All of their pop-up club colors are on their smushy cashmere base, which is fingering weight, 70% superwash merino, 20% cashmere, 10% nylon. 4 ounces, 400 yards. And the pattern that you can get for free when you purchase this yarn is the Hearthside wrap. So that gives you an idea what it looks like knit up. Nicole was asking me over the weekend if it is like an assigned pooling yarn. I think you could use it as an assigned pooling yarn. You could either pick the coral color or that turquoise, the darker turquoise, to be your pop of color. And looking at it in the skein, let's see, do this without getting it tangled. So in looking at it in the skein, A majority of the skein is that light kind of Tiffany blue color, which would make it good for doing assigned pooling projects. Um, there's that, there's that little pop of the turquoise, and there's that little pop of the salmony coral color in there. And so this is one of those things where when you see a hank like this and you see these sections, it's sometimes hard to visualize what it's going to look like. Having a pattern like this helps sort of, although it's a little, I mean, it's just like, I think it's just like a moss stitch. Berry texture, they call it. Knit one, purl one, knit one in the next stitch. Seems a little bit like a Casapinka purl 3 cluster stitch within there. But what you're not going to get is you're not going to get stripes, and you're not going to get a big chunk where you're knitting all one color for a while. So what you're going to get is probably 20 to 30 stitches in this contrast color before you go back to your main color of the pale Tiffany blue. Yeah, I guess that's probably the easiest way to describe it. But the pattern is, like I said, the pattern is free. If you purchase a skein of the yarn, we've got a download code for you to add it to your Ravelry library for free. And if you are in the club, we've got yours set aside, but we do have extras because we bumped up our order for this club year. I've got 1, 2, 3. I think I've got 6 skeins that are up for grabs. I just put this label on upside down, but that's okay. They're $36 a skein. And anything with the gold label, which means it's part of the pop-up club, which means not all shops that carry Dream in Color will have this color, and they're pretty limited edition. So we've got those finally here. Let's see what else. About the bridal show, we talked about LYS Day a little bit. We will not be opening early for LYS Day. We'll keep our regular hours 10 to 7. I have the pins on order, so the first, I think we're getting 20 of those. So the first 20 customers will get one of the LYS Day pins for free. And they have the, it says LYS Day 2025 on them. That's kind of fun. So there are groups on Facebook there that are knitting and crochet groups, and one of them is the Pure Michigan Knitters group. And there was a bit of a discussion on there yesterday and today that I wanted to kind of highlight a little bit. Somebody had posted that they like using Magic Loop and using that they had bought a set of Chaigu needles. The minis, which are there. I'm gonna go grab a set. So I know what I'm talking about. I try and carry as many of the Chaigu sets as we can here in the shop. So the twist minis are size 000 through US 1.5, US 000 through US 1.5, which would be a 1.5 to 2.5 millimeter. And they are designed for small projects and doing magic loop. So within the set, this is a 4-inch tip set. So you get all sorts of fun little goodies. You get the mini cords, which are their smallest cords. And, I don't know how long these cords have been in this package, but this is my favorite thing about Chaigu needles in general. Like, I love Knitter's Pride for their versatility, but like this cord's been out of the package for a while and it's still all coiled up. And yes, I could put it in hot water and it doesn't really bother me that much, but Why do we love Chigu cords? We love Chigu cords because you can take them out of the package and that's what they do. They just drape. They don't have that coily memory to that, even though they have a wire cable inside them. They still are super flexible and their mini cords are tiny. They're great for magic looping things because they're not going to take up a lot of space. We do sell adapters where you could put bigger needle tips onto your mini cords if you like the flexibility of these guys. And then the 4-inch tips, the interchangeables. So this person had commented that she purchased a set of these and was a little bit disappointed because one of the needles, the threading had stripped and one of the cords had separated from the connector. And so she was looking for feedback from people about what needle sets they used for Magic Loop. And within that post, there was conversation well, I came right out and asked, where she bought the needles. I don't accuse people of buying needles elsewhere, obviously not just from us, but my question was, did you purchase them from an LYS or did you purchase them online? From Amazon, because there are a lot of knockoffs out there. And my point in asking her that was twofold. One, if you purchase from an LYS, the Chigu needles have a warranty on them. If your LYS isn't able to exchange a cord or a needle, you can go right on the Chigu website and there's a place on there to contact them for a replacement. They will sometimes request that you upload a photo of whatever it is that might be happening. When they introduced their new Swift 360 cords, there was a batch that had plugged ends and they were so good about making sure that they got replacements out to everybody. I think they even halted production in order to fix the problems. But Chow is a Michigan-based company. They're out of Troy, Michigan, and they're a small company. And Julie's the one in the office. Leon is the owner of the company. There aren't very many people there, and they stand behind their product. So that was my largest point to her was, if you're having issues, reach out to them and I'm sure they would fix the problem. However, she did say she purchased the needles on Amazon and I did see, I don't know if it was her comment or somebody else saying that they had run into that in the past when they purchased needles from Amazon, had a problem, asked that Chigu send a replacement part. It was discovered that what they purchased were knockoffs, not the originals. So one more reason to buy from a reputable source. We get ours right from the company themselves. And it's quality product that we really believe in. And will carry as long as we are able to carry them. So we've got a lot of their needles here in the shop individually and in sets. If you ever want to just kind of play around with needles, we're happy to show you different things that we have. But just, it's one of those buyer beware. I know it's super easy to hop on Amazon and find things. Just know they're always not quite what they seem. It's a little bit sad to see how much effort companies will put into knocking off a small business product and trying to steal business from them, basically. So we stand behind the products and Chigu does too. What else? Oh, so I wanted to talk about, I posted photos yesterday of a new bakery in Midland that we found our way to yesterday, called Chef Sergey's Bakery. It's on Ashman Circle, almost across Eastman from I think name of it, Material Mart, the quilt shop, in in Midland. And I always get confused, even though I used to live in Midland, the whole Ashman Circle thing and the way you have to go to get to different places gets me confused for a minute, but you know, it just takes an extra little second. They're also right next to Stranded Yarn and Coffee, which is the yarn store in Midland. So if you're there on a day they're open, it's, you know, always good to support all the LYSs that you can. A really cool place. We got this huge loaf of freshly baked sourdough bread. I mean, they were baking and restocking shelves as we were there. They have a really cool bread cutter. We were watching them put the loaves of sourdough through and have it and watching like the serrated blades slice the bread. But the pastries were delicious. I got this pistachio cream pastry and it had strawberries and blueberries on top. And I love pistachio, but I love like really good real pistachio flavors of things. And it was delicious. Chris got I think a lemon flavored croissant. Um and it was not like a French pastry croissant. It was a little bit more dense than that, but just and not overly sweet. Not a lot of honey in the layers of the pastry dough itself. We got coffee. They have this drink. I can't remember what they called it, but it's like a vanilla latte. But the way they explained it was that instead of having the espresso and then the vanilla flavoring and then the steamed milk, they combine all of it and then steam it together. So you get like a creamier, smoother texture of a drink. So we got a couple of those too, and those were delicious. So I believe they just opened within the last couple of months. Um, Yes, you need to. Weight Watchers or not, you need to try things. And I just, you know, everything in moderation, right? That's kind of my philosophy on things. Sometimes it works in my favor and sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, it's I think it's always great to support as many small local businesses as we can. And what was I just going to say about that? Oh, so in looking at their Facebook page, it's interesting. I was reading it. It looks like it's taken them almost a year to prepare this space for it to support the amount of baking and the power that it requires to run their ovens there. So it looks like they've been working on it for a long time, completely revamping it. If you're familiar with Ashman Circle, they're in where the popcorn place used to be. And I'm pretty sure I was reading on one of their posts that the Consumers Energy had to come in and redo the grid for the circle in order to accommodate how much power they will draw for these ovens and stuff, which and it's a cute little place. I love the pop of orange color, and it's a Ukrainian couple that owns the bakery too, which I think is important to support them as well. So yeah, that's another local business to support. As I put in my post yesterday, the kids all went back to MSU on Saturday, so I'd find a new Sunday coffee partner. And you know, he was a willing participant. I think that's it for right now. We are kind of in the mode of trying to plan for the summer and for the yarn crawls and figure out what our custom colors are going to be, what we're going to do that's going to be fun and new and different for our 10-year anniversary. So as we get closer, as I have things more solidified, we'll probably start teasing some of those things a little bit more. But that's all I've got for everybody tonight. I'm gonna go home and put some ice back on my hip again. Physical therapy started Friday and had physical therapy again this morning, 7 a.m. this morning. I didn't think about that in terms of the time change. That came pretty darn early, but we survived. And at least I only had to go there for 45 minutes. I had sympathy for the physical therapists that had to be up and functioning and be there all day talking to people. So I hope everybody has a great week. This weather today was beautiful. I swear, when I looked yesterday, it says it's supposed to be 70 by Friday, which is awesome. I know it's not gonna stick around quite yet, but still, my crocuses are up. I think spring is coming and, yeah, stuff in the shop picked up here a little bit this week. So, keep coming in, hang out and get yarn for projects, work on what your current projects are, find something new, we're here to help you with all of those things. So have a great week. If we don't see you here in the shop sometime this week, I will be back here again at 7 o'clock.